When Steven Spielberg cries, you know it's a big deal. But this tribute to Francis Ford Coppola, it'll have you tearing up too. The American Film Institute's 50th Life Achievement Award ceremony turned into something much more than a gala. It became a family reunion, full of laughter, heartfelt memories, and yes, a few teary eyes. The guest list read like a Hollywood Hall of Fame.
Hey Andy, can we get a wave, Andy? Thank you. It's Andy Garcia. Elle, can I get a wave? Thank you.
Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Harrison Ford, Morgan Freeman, Diane Lane, Elle Fanning, and Andy Garcia, just to name a few, all there to celebrate the man who changed American cinema forever. First up, Spielberg took the stage, and within minutes, he had Francis wiping away tears. Spielberg called The Godfather the greatest American film ever made, and declared Coppola peerless, saying, "You have taken what came before and redefined the canon of American film, and in so doing, you've inspired a generation of storytellers who want to make you proud of their work, proud of our work, and I always want to make you proud of my work." Meanwhile, Robert De Niro brought the laughs, joking, "Thank you for not casting me in The Godfather. It meant I was available for part 2. Turns out, the role he didn't get led to the one that won him an Oscar. Talk about a blessing in disguise. Proof that sometimes the best roles are the ones you almost didn't get. Hollywood's ultimate, it's not you, it's me moment.
It's been an inspiration in my life because his movies were the movies that sort of made me become an actor. Specifically, The Godfather Part 1, initially.
And then there was Diane Lane, Coppola's daughter from films like The Outsiders and Rumblefish. She warmed hearts when she revealed how Coppola used to cook pasta for the young cast, right from his trailer. Standing in front of a star-studded crowd, she softly sang a few lines from To Sir with Love, a nod to the man who, in her words, took them from crayons to perfume. Only Francis could turn a film set into an Italian family dinner, minus the flying meatballs. Of course, it wouldn't be a true Hollywood tribute without a little chaos. Al Pacino was delivering a passionate thank you speech when, he was cut off mid-sentence by a Simpsons clip parodying The Godfather. Even legends have to watch their time limits. Adam Driver added some classic Coppola chaos, sharing how Francis once broke all 4 of his Oscars by throwing them out of a window. Maverick spirit? Check. Creative genius? Double check. At the end of the night, it wasn't about the awards, the fame, or even the pasta. Well, maybe a little about the pasta. It was about love. Francis Ford Coppola didn't just make films. He made families, launched careers, and inspired dreamers, teaching Hollywood that storytelling isn't just about spectacle, it's about heart.
I was just raised with his storytelling and always sort of making ideas tangible, and we'd have summer camps where everyone was doing one-act plays, and so it just sort of felt natural just to be in this environment.
And judging by the tears, the laughter, and the standing ovations, Hollywood's biggest names will always be his biggest fans. Francis, you're not just the Godfather. You're the Godfather of all our dreams. Cue the cannoli. But speaking of heartfelt Hollywood moments, there's another story from that night that we just can't miss. A touching glimpse into Steven Spielberg's own love story with his wife, Kate Capshaw. Stick around, because this next chapter is just as magical. 38 years old, Steven Spielberg met 31-year-old Kate Capshaw around 1984 after she was cast in his film Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Kate had just recently gotten divorced from her first husband, Robert Capshaw. She and Robert had gotten married in 1976, and that same year welcomed a daughter they named Jessica Capshaw. Unfortunately, after about 4 years together, they ended their marriage in 1980. Following her divorce, Kate decided to keep her ex-husband's last name and began to pursue her career as an actress in Hollywood. Before she became an actress, Capshaw was a special education teacher. However, she decided to quit her job as a teacher because she felt it wasn't stimulating enough for her and wanted to try something out of her comfort zone. Unfortunately, it wasn't easy for Kate to get the ball rolling on her acting career. In fact, after approaching one of her friends in New York who was a talent agent, they refused to represent her because they said she was too old to get good roles. Kate was only 27 years old at the time. It wasn't until Spielberg cast her in Indiana Jones that she got her big break. Steven had been having trouble casting the right woman to play alongside Harrison Ford, but after he met Kate and gave her a screen test, he quickly cast her in the film. As for Steven, he wasn't single when he met Kate. In fact, he had already been dating actress Amy Irving since the late 70s after being introduced through director George Lucas. Steven and Amy bonded over their connections in Hollywood, and soon a romance began to blossom. The couple briefly split in the early 80s, but after rekindling their relationship, they got married in 1985. That same year, Steven and Amy welcomed their first child together, a son they named Max. In 1989, Steven and Amy divorced after 4 years together. Amy shared after their split, "During my marriage to Steven, I felt like a politician's wife. There were certain things expected of me that definitely weren't me." Right after his divorce, Steven reached out to Kate, and the pair started spending more time together. Having both recently gone through a divorce and being parents, the pair bonded over their shared experiences. The pair grew so close that it was reported that Kate and her daughter even moved in with him a few months later. Although they had a working relationship and friendship at the start, it didn't take long for it to turn into something more.
That is until you meet the love of your life. And this is what happened when I met and married Kate. And that became the greatest character-defining moment of my life. Love, support.
In 1990, they had a daughter they named Sasha Spielberg. The following year, Kate and Steven got married. And in 1992, they welcomed another child, a son named Sawyer Spielberg. 4 years later, their daughter Destry Spielberg was born, and over the next few years, they also adopted 2 children, Theo and Michaela.
You know, I have 7 kids. When they were all growing up, I told them stories every night. I went from room to room to room, telling them all different stories, and I do the same thing with a camera and a crew.
Steven and Kate became the ultimate blended family. Interestingly enough, becoming a father to a big family wasn't something Spielberg had ever planned for. The director had never envisioned himself starting a family of his own. However, it was his work on E.T. the Extraterrestrial that led him to change his mind. Steven admitted, "I didn't want to have kids because it was not a kind of equation that made sense for me as I went from movie to movie to movie, script to script. It never occurred to me till halfway through E.T. I was a parent on that film." Spielberg explained that he felt very protective over the child actors that he worked with on the film, and it made him realize that he was capable of being a good parent.
And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers, it never shouts. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. It very rarely shouts. And if you can listen to the whisper, and if it tickles your heart, and it's something you think you want to do for the rest of your life, then that is going to be what you do for the rest of your life.
His time with all the young kids made him feel like he wanted to have children of his own that he could take care of.
So his directing skills have worked in both the cinema and at home.
Steven and Kate have been married for over 30 years, and from the very beginning of their relationship, they have been nothing but supportive of each other. They've always pushed and encouraged one another to do what makes them happy, and they value one another for what they each bring to the table. Kate shared, "Steven and I are partners, and our life together is our production, so to speak." She went on to explain that if she wants to do something that would have an impact on their marriage, it's important to her that he's on board. She added, "I want to have his support." The couple understands the value of communication in their marriage and always makes sure to keep each other informed about how they're feeling. Kate explained that by simply keeping the channel of communication open, then everybody's saved a lot of work. After they got married, Kate took a step back from her acting career to focus on their family and raising their children. She shared, "He operates his jet, a camera and a story. My jet is the family." Whether Kate wanted to continue her work as an actress or spend more time at home, Steven was always there supporting whatever it was she wanted to do. The couple even went on to collaborate on a music video in 2022. Steven directed the music video for Marcus Mumford's song, Cannibal, while Kate took on the role of producer and art director. Capshaw also influenced Spielberg's filmmaking in a big way. Steven confessed that he almost signed on to direct the raunchy hit comedy Meet the Parents until Kate talked him out of it. "My wife says I'm not funny enough. I was preparing to direct Meet the Parents. When she read the script, she said, you're not directing this movie, give it to a director who does comedy well. However, Spielberg found the middle ground and decided to produce the film instead, and it's no surprise that the film did very well. All jokes aside, it seems like Steven and Kate's relationship is stronger than ever. There's no doubt that part of being a supportive partner is also being honest, and it's pretty clear that Kate isn't shy about sharing her opinions with Steven. The fact that they can be honest with one another on that kind of level shows how much they respect each other and that they don't take each other's opinions too personally. We wish Steven and Kate only the best, and we're sure their marriage will grow even stronger for more decades to come. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for more celebrity stories.